Okay, so welcome back to the second part. Web 2.0. I've already covered what we'll be talking in here. No reason to hash that out again and put you through that. So Web 2.0 is the next generation. This is the internet that has grown up a little bit in its adolescent age, I guess, if you wanted to compare it that way. It's more mature, distinctive communications, and communications is the big focus on Web 2.0, because with communications you have things such as collaboration, sharing, and the word free comes into play on that. So let's see what this looks like. Advantages of Web 2.0: you have content sharing through open sourcing, user-contributed content, collaboration inside the organization, collaboration outside of the organization. So again, it recaps free, sharing, and collaboration. So what does the free part look like? Well, if you've done anything on the internet or anything with computers, I don't know your past experiences, obviously, but a term called open system comes into play. Open system means that nobody really owns it. It's open. It's there, free for everyone to use, free for everyone to contribute to, and free for everyone to push out and become popular. What's free about it is the source code. Unlike Microsoft, I can go out to some free open source software, and if I so chose, I could download the source code to be able to look at that. It's open source, meaning that not only can I see the source code, but I can make changes to it. And with it being open, I can use it as my own, and I can even let other people use it, and there's no penalty, there's no copyright, there's no fee or charge of usage on that. The other term here that they introduce is closed source. That still means that it's free for use, but it's not necessarily open for change. When it's open, it's wide open for everybody. An example of open source. Windows is naturally not open source. It's not free. And there's a competitor called OpenOffice. OpenOffice you can download for free. It's available for everyone to use. It mimics Microsoft Office. There's a spreadsheet, there's a word processor, there's a database, there's a presentation software, and it all has a look and feel to the Microsoft standards, but it's not copyrighted. You can use it for free. It's compatible with Microsoft Office, and the other neat thing about it is if you want it to do something different than what it's doing now, you can learn the coding language to do that and make those changes. User-contributed content introduces two terms to us: a reputation system and native advertising. User-contributed content is created and updated by many users for many users. Reputation system simply falls back to what's the quality and source of the contributors adding to that. Is it something that's known to have a lot of bogus, untrue content, or does it tend to be reliable? As a side note, if you're ever using references, or as you're using references and sources for research, whether it's for your entrepreneurial challenges or any other class you're doing, never, ever, ever use Wikipedia as a resource. That is an example of user-contributed content, and its reputation is that anyone can contribute to anything. And they're not necessarily the experts to that. Collaboration inside of an organization. There needs to be in place a collaboration system. These are tools that support the work of teams or groups by facilitating the sharing and flow of information. Within Microsoft Office, if you have a subscription either personally or through school or through work, you can log in, and I encourage you to do this. You can log on to the Office 360 website, and they have a lot of tools out there to help facilitate with this collaboration. They don't push it out like they do other software, but it's there for you to be able to use. Collective intelligence is collaborating and tapping into the core knowledge of all employees, partners, and customers. So the collaboration system creates the platform for the collective intelligence to be collected by the many different individuals. Knowledge management involves capturing, classifying, evaluating, retrieving, and sharing information assets in a way that provides context for effective decisions and actions. This book is infamous for very long definitions. Knowledge management is simply the managers within an organization saying, I know our employees have a lot that they can contribute to our organization. How are we going to capture that, and how are we going to manage that knowledge? Because when Joe leaves, all of the knowledge he has gained about the system over the past 10 years is going to leave with him. And that becomes a big intangible asset for the organization, and many organizations struggle at trying to manage that. Knowledge, collaborating inside the organization, assets fall into two categories: explicit knowledge and tacit knowledge. Explicit consists of anything that can be documented, achieved, and codified, often with the help of IT. And usually the help of IT means that they help provide that platform for that to happen. Tacit knowledge is knowledge contained in people's heads, such as Joe, and what are we going to do with Joe's knowledge when he walks out the door. Crowdsourcing is the wisdom of the crowd. And through there we have asynchronous and synchronous communication. Networking with communities with business. Social media connects organizations to businesses. Social network is the application that connects to people by matching profile information, such as LinkedIn. That is a social network. The social media part of that would be the LinkedIn.com. And then social networking is the practice of expanding your business or social contacts by a personal network. That means you're talking to people, you're getting to know people. You're making those face-to-face connections. Social tagging. Tags are specific words or phrases incorporated into website content for means of classification or taxonomy. Social tagging includes, or tags include, social tagging, folksonomy, website bookmark, and social bookmark. Let's see, social tagging, folksonomy is similar to taxonomy, except that crowdsourcing determines the tags or keywords based on a classification system. Website bookmark is a locally stored URL or address for a file or internet page saved as a shortcut. Social bookmarking allows users to share, organize, search, and manage bookmarks. Social tagging continued. This is a folksonomy for a cell phone. You have a cell, you have an iPhone, you have a cellular phone, you have a BlackBerry, and you have a mobile phone. Those are categories. And they're basing that based on those categories. Collaborating tools. One collaborating tool is a blog, which is an online journal that allows you to post your own comments, graphics, and videos. A wiki is a collaborative website that allows users to add, remove, and change content. Now, I referred to Wikipedia earlier as not a valid source for research because Bob the janitor can go home at night and be Bob the neurosurgeon, and no one would really know the difference. However, for an organization can create their own wiki website, and that becomes a valuable tool not only internally but externally as well. Internally, members of the organization can compile their ideas and compile their knowledge on certain topics, and they can make it available to either just internal fellow co-workers, or depending on what the topics are, they could also make it available to external clients and customers, so that they can start using that as an FAQ of sorts. So there's a lot of power there that can be used with the notion of a wiki. Mashup is content from more than one source to create a new product or service, such as Infopedia, Xylo, and This We Know. We talked about what blogs are, and they introduce microblogs, which is the practice of sending brief posts, 140 to 200 characters, to a personal blog, either publicly or to a private group of subscribers who can read the post as IEMs or as text, such as Twitter. Real Simple Syndication is a web format used to publish frequently updated works, such as blogs, news headlines, audio, video, and standardized format. So in other words, when you publicize your blog, there's always an option there to how do you want to publish it and let people know about it. Well, that's the Real Simple Syndication. A wiki, like we said, is a collaborative web page that allows people to add, view, and delete content. With a wiki, they introduced the term network effect. Describes how products in a network increase in value to users as the number of users increase. So for a wiki or a wiki site, the more people that start accessing the site, the more chance and probability you're going to have of them adding their own content and their own knowledge. And as that happens, that's the network effect, because the wiki site is growing as that knowledge of users being compiled together is growing. Here, a mashup is simply a website or web application that uses content from more than one source, such as application programming interface or a mashup editor. And that goes a little bit into web development. Challenges of Business 2.0. First, technology dependence, then information vandalism, and then violations of copyright and plagiarism. E-business security includes encryption, secured socket layer, or SSL, and secure electronic transaction. Encryption is simply scrambling information into an alternate form that requires a key or password to decrypt. Secured socket layer does three things. First, it creates a secure and private connection between a client and the server. So it's a direct connection and it's secure. It encrypts the information, so it adds that second layer of protection there. And then third, it sends the information over the internet. SSL is identified by a website address that includes an S at the end of HTTP. That's what I was talking about earlier in knowing that your website connection is secure. That's the secured socket layer when it says HTTPS. You have a direct connection between you and your bank's server, and as you're sending your account information, social security number, whatever, it's encrypted on your machine. It's going encrypted over to the server at the bank. The bank then decrypts and processes whatever you have sent. The third secure electronic transaction is a transmission security method that ensures transactions are secure and legitimate, meaning you are who you are, you're not a bot. That's why some websites have you to key in a funky little string of characters that make no sense, because they want to verify you're actually a human sitting there reading the screen and typing it versus an automatic web bot that's running and trying to generate a whole bunch of profiles. Web 3.0. We're coming up on the short rows. Web 3.0 is based on intelligence or intelligent web applications using natural language processing, machine-based learning, reasoning, and intelligence. A semantic web is a component of Web 2.0 that describes things in a way that computers can understand it. Egovernment involves the use of strategies and technologies to transform government by improving the delivery of services and enhancing the quality of interaction between citizen to consumer within all branches of government. Now, I don't know what it's like where you live when you have to go to the DMV, but here where I live, it was a very painful process. Eventually, the government or the DMV expanded how it was conducting its business, and it now allows us to do license renewal, order new replacement driver's license, renew our tags and titles and things like that online versus having to go into the offices and have to go deal with those lines and those headaches that come with slow government service. Now here's that chart once again, and I said that it was going to grow a little bit, and where it grows is over here on the right hand side. After consumer, they add the column for government. You have a business to government, and the example they give is Lockheed Martin. You have a consumer to government, such as egov.com. That's you going online and conducting your business with the government, paying your taxes or whatever. And then G to G, government to government, such as the state of North Carolina conducting and sending electronic funds and help to, say, Katrina victims, or to the agencies in New Orleans that was handling funds for the Katrina disaster. So that would be an example of that. Here is just a graphic depiction of doing mobile business. I think you have an idea of what that includes. Basically, you conducting your electronic business over something like your smartphone. Okay, that concludes Unit 3. Again, make sure that you are contributing to the discussion boards. Pay attention to the guidelines there. Add some good discussion topics, and keep working on your entrepreneurial challenges. And if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. This concludes week number 3. At the end of week number 4, we will have a midterm exam, and I will post something about that and what that's going to look like and how that's going to happen. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me.